Guys, it is Jen. I'm gonna try to get in front of that light. I literally tried 5 times to go live on my computer and it would not work. So if you got like a ton of notifications from me this morning, I apologize. You might not have gotten any notifications because I'm doing this totally last minute. I know you're all busy. It is a busy Saturday morning, but I wanted to hop on real quick because we need to talk about Disney Princess Half Marathon. We need to talk about the waivers. We need to talk about all of the fun things. Oh, good, there's some people here. I wasn't sure. You know, I try to announce these things in advance. You guys know we had a problem with the live streaming that I did last week, and I ended up having to take it down. And we said a few really good things that I wanted to make sure I shared with you guys today. So good morning, Becky. I'm so glad that you're here. It was actually a really good live stream. It's just that when I went to put it up, the sound was really bad. Good morning, Sarah. What time is it in Canada? I need to look up what time it is in Canada. Also, Sarah, Sarah won some earrings in my live stream on the other channel. And Sarah, I don't know if you got those yet. I shipped them last week. It takes a long time for stuff to get to Canada. But anyway, I just thought I would hop on and we would chat, kind of recap what we talked about Run Disney last week. I wanted to, oh yay, Donna's here. Oh, Shawnee, good. Okay, 1600, you're gonna have to help me. I'm terrible at this. 30, 40, 50, okay, 4 o'clock, is that right? My husband always talks in military time and I am really bad about that. Good morning, Willis. Good morning, Sammy and family. So what are you guys up to? What are we doing? What are we doing? I've got lots of stuff going on because Disney Princess Half waivers came out and I'm training 10 o'clock, same as you. Oh, how did I not know you were on the same time as me, Sarah? That's silly. Oh well, that's okay. Good morning to everybody that's joining us today. So who that's on here, I probably should just make this wide open since I did not announce it in advance. Will is getting ready to do housework and then cooking. Oh my gosh, you sound so productive this morning. I am just drinking coffee. That is as far as I have gotten. No, that's not true. I woke up, I showered, I drank coffee and let the dogs out. And that has been, and it's 10 o'clock. So I probably need to get my act together, but good morning, Dawn. So last week's Monday was kind of a debacle. I'm kind of, Willis is researching various trip, flight, hotels. Ooh, interesting. Are we talking Disney, Willis? Are we talking Europe? Are we talking some other destination? That's always exciting. So I kind of don't want to go full on Run Disney if people here are not Run Disney people, although I did want to chat about some things that I chatted last week. So let's do it this way since I didn't announce this in advance and there's just a handful of you guys on here and whoever is here should get preferential treatment about what we talk about. So what do you guys want to talk about? I got my coffee. What do we want to talk about this morning? Other than the fact that my computer is driving me absolutely bananas. You know, I reached out to YouTube on Twitter and I was like, why does my computer not go live? And look, there's like a halo where that, let's play with my can light and see if it look like a crown. Anyway, everything they told me to do, YouTube support reached out. They're like, clear your cache. Maybe you have an unstable internet connection. None of those things are true. So I don't know what's going on. I am, Sarah. I'm so angelic. It's my, what do you call that thing? Like what Mary and Joseph have? Don't go there. So yeah, it's been, I know all over the world, interesting weekend, and I was like, you know what? I want to hang out with my friends. So Becky wants to know, have you ever done a Disney fun run at the resorts? I did a fun run at French Quarter. And I don't for the life of me know why I didn't do a video about it other than the fact that I think it was so humid that morning that the footage was kind of unusable because it's really humid in Florida. You've probably seen on other channels, it's really hard to film. But it was super fun, and it was very small, and we got a coupon for free beignets at the end, and I loved it because I needed to get a run in that morning anyway. Yes, Sarah, that is the one where they give you beignets at the end. And the cast members were great. It's the same people that they use, you know, for the poolside things and all of that. Becky, you should definitely do it. They gave us little medals when we finished too. I have mine somewhere, and they were just little like plastic participation medals. I know some of the resorts are doing different ones, but if you want to get some running in, the one at French Quarter was really fun. Hey Tammy, how are you? It was really fun because we ran all the way to Riverside and then kind of around Riverside and back again. And I'm not exactly sure how much mileage it was. I want to say it was, somebody else can pipe in, maybe it was 2 miles. How do you know when they are doing the fun runs? So they will have in your room when you get there, you will see a kind of an event guide for what's going on for the resort that you're staying at. And it's usually with all of your check-in information, and it'll tell you things like when the movie's gonna be, when they're gonna do s'mores, all of that. And it will also tell you if the resort does a fun run. I know a lot of them do it now. Old Key West does one, and unfortunately I did not participate in it on this last trip, but I think theirs is on Wednesday morning. And I really do think that pretty much all of the resorts that have, you know, a running path are starting to do these fun runs. And I think it's a really good idea. It's a fun way to kind of, especially if you go to Disney a lot and you have maybe a morning where you're not doing rope drop at a park. But the one at French Quarter, I think, is the only one where you get beignets. So yeah, beignets are never a bad idea. So what else? What else do you guys want to talk about? I did book a trip. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is because I'm doing a video exclusively on Patreon this morning. I have a trip coming up in March that I'm not going to tell you guys about yet, but if you're one of my patrons, you'll know. So yeah, I don't know if Grand Floridian does one, and I'm kind of curious if they are going to start offering one. You guys know they're building that bridge between the Grand Floridian and the Magic Kingdom. So the Grand Floridian will now become another resort that you can walk to. So Tammy wants to know, have you talked about what you're doing for costumes for Princess Weekend? Austin was going to ask about your trip plans. Well, Sarah, first of all, you are one of my patrons, so you will get that trip announcement video later on this afternoon. Actually, I haven't even filmed it yet. I'm getting ready to do that. And then for costumes, we will probably do like a costume reveal, but I'll go ahead and give you guys a teaser now. For the 10K, Sarah and Coral and I are going as the 3 fairies from Sleeping Beauty. They are sort of the unofficial mascots of the Fairy Tale Challenge for the weekend. I guess not unofficial. They are the mascots for the Fairy Tale Challenge. So I am going as the green fairy, and Sarah is going as the pink fairy, and Coral is going as the blue fairy. I think that's right. Or maybe Sarah and Coral, I have them mixed up. But we bought shirts from an Etsy shop that say, that are really cute, that are tech tank tops. And like Sarah says, make it blue, and Coral says, make it pink, and mine says, make it green. So I love that. I think that will be super fun. So I'll be there March 3rd to 11th. Maybe I'll see you. Well, it's going to be interesting because Sandy, and this will make more sense later, but it's not actually a Walt Disney World trip. I'm staying at a Disney resort, but it's not a Walt Disney World trip. So don't guess, because I don't want to give my patrons deserve that surprise trip announcement. By the way, and I need to add it in the description of this, but I just joined something called Ko-fi or Coffee, where you literally can buy Jen a cup of coffee, and I'll put it in the description. But some of you had expressed that you maybe didn't want to do Super Chat because YouTube takes, I think it's 20% of Super Chat, and you maybe didn't want to commit as a monthly patron, but you wanted a way to support the channel. So this is a great way to do that. So I'll make sure I put that in the description box of this video, and I'll probably do a card up here when I go to process it if you guys are interested. It's literally like $3.99, and it's exactly what it sounds. You can buy me a cup of coffee. So as I said when I announced it on Facebook, I said, you know, it takes a lot of caffeine for me to stay this chipper. So if that's something you're interested in doing. Okay, what else? You guys have me. You can ask me almost anything. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. This again was last minute. I didn't intend to do this, I also need to film a master bathroom remodel. Aw, thanks, Maureen. Maureen, you do enough. You don't need to buy me a cup of coffee. It always cracks me up that, in the church world, we always used to say that, 2% of the people do 90% of the work. And I feel like the people that support me continue to come back and support me all the time. So, Sarah, the pups are good. You're so sweet. They are upstairs. It's kind of a quiet Saturday morning, so I thought it was a good time to do this. Will I be doing a meetup Princess Weekend? That is a really good question. I am always shying away from meetups because Princess Half Marathon, well, any Run Disney weekend is so crazy busy, but I'm definitely open to that idea. I know for sure we are going to the expo on Friday, so I thought of doing something at the expo. We're staying at Old Key West. I'm just not sure. So yeah, if a meetup Princess Half Marathon Weekend is something you guys are interested, make sure you let me know. Heather is asking, how far in advance do you have to sign up for a Disney 5K? And Tammy, I see that you're asking, yeah, maybe we should do a meetup at the expo. So how early you need to sign up is a very difficult question to answer. If you're sure you want to do it, I would sign up the day that registration opens. The 5Ks and the 10Ks have been selling out very, very quickly. So if you want to run that race, I would get on the email notifications for Run Disney, and I would register literally the day that registration opens. If you are on the fence, the one of my big beefs with Run Disney, and I have several big beefs with Run Disney right now. We can get into that if you guys want. Kind of mad at them. But the bibs are non-refundable. They are non-transferable. And they open up registration months and months in advance. So you may not even have your travel plans finalized yet, or you may not know if you're going, or you may want to set a half marathon as a big goal race and you're not sure if you're going to be able to train or whatever the case may be. And you commit to paying that money, and then you can't transfer it. You can't get your money back. Other big races have figured out how to allow people to transfer their race registrations, and Disney just does not allow that. And I think that is absolutely ridiculous. So I've gone from couch potato and former smoker to running 4 times a week. Not sure how long it will take to get me to the 5K mark. Girlfriend, if you're running 4 times a week, you will get to the 5K mark before you know it. If you know anything about my running story, you know that it took me 3 months to get to 1 mile. Once I got to 1 mile, it was and then I got to 2, and then I got to 3, and things just really moved along very quickly from there. And then I found out that I really like running longer distances. So Becky says, I think the pre-planning Disney requires turn some people off. Yeah, I agree. Although they still sell out. So maybe, you're at mile 1 now. Heather, that's huge. That's huge. I have said it before. I remember running my first mile without stopping as big a deal as I crossed as when I crossed my first marathon finish line. Honestly, that is such a big deal. So my beef with Run Disney. Okay, so they just started this new thing with, Dawn says, I'm still having foot troubles, but I keep putting off going to the doctor, so my fault. Yes, it is. It's your fault. Go to the doctor. So there you go. Because the doctor will tell you if it's something you can run through, if it's an injury, whatever the case may be. I have plantar fasciitis in my feet all the time, and I just run through it and it's fine, but you do need to go to the doctor. So Run Disney started this thing where they just introduced it, and it starts, I think, in a couple of weeks. You can join this thing called Club Run Disney. And it's yet another add-on where you pay extra money at different levels, and you get things like, hey, Madison, I'm so glad you're here. You get things like early what do I want to say? You can buy merchandise early. You can get an exclusive jacket, which, by the way, you still have to pay for. So you join this club, and then all they're letting you do is purchase special items, but you still have to pay for it, but yet you're paying for the membership. And they go all the way up to an $800 a year level. And at $800, you're guaranteed some early race entries. You get an early access to the merchandise. And then this is the one that I'm really upset about. You can move up in the corrals. Corral placement exists for several different reasons, to allow people to kind of be with the same speed of other runners. And the fact that you can purchase upgraded corral placement, uh, I'd now, and I know I may sound a little hypocritical because I have purchased many, many times, kind of a VIP experience at Disney, whether that be race retreat with the Run Disney events or other VIP things. But there is something about when we are all in those corrals together, there should be kind of an equality. And I feel like, and Tammy, you're 100% right. It is already so much money to run Disney that I kind of want everybody, once we get in those corrals, to be equal. And the fact that people can pay more money, I saw the funniest thing on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, it is a safety issue, Madison. I completely agree. They said that the next thing they're going to do is if you pay $1,000, a guy dressed as Kronk will carry you on his back the entire race. It's like, it's about how it feels. I just feel like runners work very hard for those corral placements. And I have heard various things. I have yet to get a full determination from Disney that it is only going to move you up to either the second to last or last. That supposedly there is not going to be an option to move like up to Corral C if you did not submit a proof of time. But I just don't like it. I think that it is elitist. I think that Disney is once again charging extra money for something that's not costing them any money. I'm waiting to see how far up they get moved before I decide to get mad. Right, that's exactly where I am. Like I've heard some things from people on Twitter that they're literally only going to move up one corral, which again, are there people that are going to pay $800 to move up one corral? Yes, because there are people, and this, you guys, this happens all the time. If you're ever running a Run Disney race, like I have been in Corral A, it was years ago, but recently the furthest up I've been is like Corral C, and I've been with runners in Corral C, and they will be chatting and telling me that it's their first half marathon or it's their first race ever, and I'm thinking, well, how the heck did you get in Corral C? Do not do this. I do not advise this. I think it's unsafe. I think it's stupid. So what I am getting ready to say, I am not endorsing in any way, shape, or form. People will sign up for a local race. They will, a race that's less stringent about rules than Disney, but a race that is an official race. They will have someone run the race for them, like a much faster runner than they are. And then they will submit that race as their proof of time so that they can be moved up to a further up corral. Here's why that is, number one, very unethical, wildly unethical. Don't get me started there. And number two, very, very dangerous. You will start out too fast. You could get trampled. You are creating a safety issue for everybody. Oh, Sarah, don't get me started on the cheaters. I think I told you guys this, and I don't like to be negative, but I think I told you guys I saw somebody cheat during the marathon. When I was cheering last year, she came in where the parking area is by the tennis courts at Boardwalk, came in, took a bunch of pictures, and went right back off the course again. And she had a bib and everything, but I'm thinking she's just doing that to like put pictures on social media and say that she ran the race, but she didn't really run the race. And there's a few places on the course that people were doing that. So here's my bottom line on all of the cheating and the cheating the system and the trying to get around things and cutting the course and moving into a corral that you don't belong in. I get very salty about how hard people work. If I started with the fast racers, I would be so discouraged and it would set a bad tone for my race. I totally agree with you. We all work so hard to show up to that start line, and it is such a commitment. And I get teary when I think about it, like the amount of like shared human experience, the hours that we put in, the times when we ran, when it was freezing cold or it was dark, or when you get up, you set your alarm for 5 a.m. because you've got to get that long run in before you go to work, or it's pouring down rain and you have to get the miles in and you go out there and you do it anyway. And then when I hear about people who cheat the system, I'm like, you're going against the entire reason why we do this. And it just is mind blowing. Like, why? It is not like you have to do this, but I think unfortunately a lot of people want bragging rights. They want to put it on social media that they ran and they didn't really. And I just am out on all of that. However, having said that, I am mad at Run Disney right now. What is the point if you are going to cheat? Heather, it's so true. Like, it's so true about all of life. And Sarah, I saw what you said about be with slower runners. It would be an ego boost. Yeah, I'm totally all about that. So yeah, I mean, here's bottom line. 95, maybe even 97% of the people who are running a race at Disney or anywhere are doing it for the right reasons. They have put in the work. They are trained. They have the appropriate etiquette and ethics, and they have the spirit and all of that. But there are always going to be some bad apples, and I think we need to not focus on that. But this whole Run Disney thing kind of felt, hey, Charlie, good to hear from you. I kind of felt like this whole Club Run Disney thing was kind of leaning into that elitist attitude, or this attitude that you don't have to work quite as hard. You can just pay money and you can start in a sooner corral. I'm just out on all of that. So yeah, Run Disney and I are not happy right now. Now, having said that, the waivers came out. I got my bib number. I actually could have been in Corral E, but it's because I'm pacing somebody. Jenny, and that's why you're done with Run Disney. Totally get it. I was so mad when that email came across. And what's funny, Jenny, is that I took to social media not knowing that I wasn't the only one that was mad, not knowing that like thousands of runners were mad, and people like me that have been running Disney for over a decade were like, this is a crap move. This is a money grab. And again, if you're going to offer me something and it's a value, I will pay extra money for things. But this is in my opinion, this is a greedy money grab on behalf of Run Disney, and it's just not acceptable to me. The people who are usual runners, from everything I saw, were negative on it. Yeah, it's just no good. So somebody just said that they moved up corrals. Hooray! This is why I don't love doing this on my phone, because the chat goes away too soon. But moving up corrals is huge. So as I have aged, my qualifying times have gotten slower. Tammy says, I'm getting back to running for my own mental health. It's a fun girls weekend for me to go back to Princess, so I probably wouldn't even do Run Disney. Same. Like, I'm doing Run Disney because that is where my girls are. That's the community that I have built over the years, and that is why I'm doing it. It is not because of the organization, because I'm done with the organization. Hey, Marky. Yeah, like mad. Okay, that's becoming a trend, though, with Run Disney. More expensive merchandise at a lower quality. Yeah, 100%. Mugs, the stuff comes off, and yeah, it's a thing. Like, I don't even do merchandise anymore. I don't even try, because first of all, the whole thing where people buy it up, and anyway, on and on we go. Somebody asked a question, and I was going to talk about something more positive. Whatever it was that moved up. So my Run Disney times are always on the slower side, but I have not been running as many local races. So yes, I have heard that the merch is poor quality as well. It's very, very unfortunate, because runners will pay a lot of money for good quality merchandise, but not if it's garbage. And so I could have started in E with my 10K time from last year's marathon weekend. I will be starting in G, because that's where Corral is. Is G second last? I don't remember. Somebody remind me. I think it's G. And I don't know how we ended up in second to last. I'm really grateful, because it is Coral's first race and she'd had no proof of time. So that will work out really well, because it will give her just a little bit of a buffer. So for those of you guys that don't know, the way that it works is the 16-minute per mile pace that you have to maintain okay, H is last, so we're in G, does not start until the last runner crosses. So if you're in a further up corral, you get a little bit of a buffer. Now, I am not in any way, shape, or form concerned about Corral getting swept. Her training has been great. She is right where she needs to be, and she is running at a pace that is well within the requirement. Having said that, Disney heat and humidity can get to you, and she has been doing her training in New York. She's been on a treadmill a lot. So I was very grateful that we had just that little bit of buffer. I know it's going to be mostly mental for her, but I think I am more excited about pacing someone else than I have ever been about running my own race. Like, I can't even tell you guys. I already have like a little cheat sheet mapped out. I'm kind of been, texting her about chunking the race because, miles 1 through 5, that kind of is the freeways. And then we get to Magic Kingdom. And then as we leave, like Grand Floridian Golf Course, and then miles 7 to 10 are really boring. And Laura says, put the treadmill in a sauna and she'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. I train in Atlanta, so I kind of have a little bit better heat tolerance, but it's just, and you never know, the morning of the race, it could be really cool and cold, and that won't even be an issue. But just in case it was going to be an issue, it was like, okay, let's be clear on that. So I averaged 14 plus minute mile time on my 5.75 day Sunday. Nervous about this week for the 10K still. Don't be. You will be so fine. Last year was a sauna. Yeah, I heard that. And Rachel, I've had Princess half is tough. I always know that Star Wars is going to be miserable. Like, I don't think we've ever run a Star Wars that wasn't miserable because it's late April. So that's a foregone conclusion. Marathon weekend typically can be cold, but then also, like this last year, the marathon itself, it was boiling hot on marathon day. And Princess is kind of, you just really never know. So I haven't started looking at the weather yet. It's still a little early. I usually don't start looking until 2 weeks out. 2 years ago, the Princess half humidity was miserable too. Yeah, and humidity just slows you down. There's just no two ways about it. At least it slows me down. I pulled out at 11 last year, Princess, partially because the humidity and heat zapped me. It really, it's impossible to express unless you are actually, unless you've done it, how much it will slow you down. It's crazyville. So anyway, the whole, I just remember my first Run Disney half marathon. And what's funny is I had a half marathon at that point that was like a 2:25. I had run my first half marathon in Dallas. It was a rock and roll. It was a great time. I had trained at a great pace, and my phone's getting ready to die, so I can only be on here for 30 minutes today. So sorry about that. But, and I was still worried about it. So I totally get that. It is, but you know what? You've put in the work. So I think that if you didn't, let me just put it this way. If you didn't train and you get swept, then I don't feel all that sorry for you. If you put in all of the work and you get swept, then you need to take that medal and you need to be proud of it, because the work is really the whole thing. Like we always say that the training is the hard work and then the race is the party because of the training. So I do have people tell me that they didn't train, and I'm sorry, this is just me being a little bit judgmental. If you didn't train and you get swept, I don't think you should put your medal up, and I don't think you should accept it. Sorry. However, your medal is for the training that you did. So if you, oh, hey, Jess Oaklaroots is here. Hey, Jess. Yeah, Run Disney is your victory lap. So if you trained hard and you still get swept, get that medal. Wear it, be proud of it, and know that that medal represents hours and hours of hard work. And don't let anybody tell you any different. You wear that t-shirt, you wear that medal, because at this point, we are 3 weeks out from race weekend, and you guys have put in a ton, or I guess we're 3 weeks out. You guys have put in a ton of work. I'm getting ready to run 10 miles on Sunday. This is no joke. This is hard work. We're doing the best that we can. And what happens race weekend is a crapshoot. You just don't know. So you don't know what your body's going to do. You don't, not to be TMI, but 1 year during the marathon, I had a period from hell, and it was an awful marathon for me. I still finished, but my time was horrible. I had blisters 1 year. It is an unknown, and to me, because I'm kind of psycho, that's part of the fun, right? You show up race day, you don't know what's going to happen, but you do know that you are with other runners who are supporting you, who are for you, and that you have put in the work, and that is what you can show up and be proud about. And also, you can still have margaritas after. I would say you can have 3 margaritas. You can have 2 margaritas if you just finished. You get 3 if you get swept. Okay, I'm gonna get off. My phone is getting ready to die. Before I get off, I just want to remind you guys, if you're watching this video, please make sure you subscribe. There will be tons more Run Disney content as we get closer to the race. I will have a bathroom update, master bathroom update. My designer came, that was incredible. That will be coming next week. I apologize, I've been a little quiet over here, but I feel like it's February now, right? It's February, so January is finally over. The longest month of the year, the month that lasts for 5 years is over, and we can move on into the rest of 2020. Love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Whatever you're doing today, I hope you're finding joy, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. And I never know how to end a live chat on my phone. Hold, please.